Hi everyone, in this lesson we're going to learn how to talk about exercising and different ways of talking about exercising and playing sports. We will begin with the model dialogue, and in this dialogue the two people are talking about different kinds of exercise they do. After the dialogue we will explain all the expressions in detail. Do you exercise? I play football every Monday. How about you? I go running on Sundays. Okay, first to ask if the other person exercises, we can ask, do you exercise? Do you exercise? In English, we can use the verb phrases play sport and exercise to talk about doing physical activity. Play sports is quite literal as it relates to playing sports, such as playing tennis and playing football. However, exercise relates to any kind of physical activity we do to strengthen our body and improve our health. Therefore, playing football and tennis are forms of exercise, but exercising can also be walking up and down the stairs, walking around the neighborhood to improve our health. So exercise is a more broad meaning word we can use to talk about different kinds of activity and sports. Let's practice asking this question. Do you exercise? Do you exercise? That was great, well done. Let's now take a look at different ways of talking about exercising. First, we have this. I play football every Monday. I play football every Monday. We can use the verb play to talk about playing sports that use balls or sports that involve teams. So we can use play with sports like golf, tennis, and basketball. The word every is used with different time phrases to say how often we do something. So every Monday means I play football on Monday each week. Let's take a look at some more example sentences. I play golf every Saturday. I play tennis every day. I play basketball every week. When we say every week, it means that I do something one time each week, but it doesn't specify the day of the week. Okay, so let's now do a speaking practice of these sentences. I play football every Monday. I play golf every Saturday. I play tennis every day. I play basketball every week. Great effort, well done. Here's another way of talking about exercising. I go running on Sundays. I go running on Sundays. In English, there are certain sports which we can talk about doing by using specific verbs related to that sport, such as run, swim, and cycle. And to talk about doing these exercises regularly in our lives, we use the verb go and change the verb that describes doing that sport into verb ing. So we can say, I go running, I go swimming, and I go cycling. To talk about how often I go running, we have this phrase on Sundays. And this phrase has the same meaning as every Sunday. The key to this phrase is to use the preposition on and then use a word for a day of the week, but add s at the end. So we have to say on Sundays and not on Sunday. Let's take a look at a few other example sentences. I go swimming on Fridays. I go cycling on Tuesdays. I go skateboarding on Saturday mornings. And as you can see in the last sentence, we can add expressions like morning to say when on Saturday we go skateboarding. Let's do a speaking practice of these sentences. I go running on Sundays. I go swimming on Fridays. I go cycling on Tuesdays. I go skateboarding on Saturday mornings. Excellent job. Let's learn one other way of talking about exercising. I do yoga on Sunday mornings. I do yoga on Sunday mornings. When we talk about doing exercises that don't use any tools and mainly involve various movements of the body, we use the verb do to talk about doing those sports. So we can say do yoga, do taekwondo, do judo, and do Pilates. And at the end of the sentence, we've used on Sunday mornings, which means every Sunday morning. Here are a few other example sentences. I do taekwondo on Fridays. I do judo on Monday evenings. I do Pilates on Sundays. Okay, so let's now do a speaking practice of these sentences. I do yoga on Sunday mornings. I do taekwondo on Fridays. I do judo on Monday evenings. I do Pilates on Sundays. Fantastic job, well done. Now, before we do the final practice, let's listen to the dialogue again. Do you exercise? I play football every Monday. How about you? I go running on Sundays. Now let's do a speaking practice of this dialogue. We will do 2 speaking practices so that you can practice both roles. All the lines will be on the screen, so when it's your turn, please read the line and participate in the dialogue. Do you exercise? I go running on Sundays. I play football every Monday. How about you? Excellent job today. Well done. Okay, so in this lesson, we learned various expressions we can use to talk about playing sports and exercising. The next lesson is a speaking drill lesson, so make sure to take that lesson for more speaking practice. See you soon again. Bye-bye.